The reaping of the last standing corn is called "cutting the Hare." The mode of cutting it is as follows. When the rest of the corn has been reaped, a handful is left standing to form the Hare. It is divided into three parts and plaited, and the ears are tied in a knot. The reapers then retire a few yards, and each throws his or her sickle in turn at the Hare to cut it down. It must be cut below the knot, and the reapers continue to throw their sickles at it, one after the other, until one of them succeeds in severing the stalks below the knot. The Hare is then carried home and given to a maidservant in the kitchen, who places it over the kitchen door on the inside. Sometimes the Hare used to be thus kept till the next harvest. In the parish of Minigaff, when the Hare was cut, the unmarried reapers ran home with all speed, and the one who arrived first was the first to be married. In Germany also one of the names for the last sheaf is the Hare. Thus in some parts of Anhalt, when the corn has been reaped and only a few stalks are left standing, they say, "The Hare will soon come," or the reapers cry to each other, "Look how the Hare comes jumping out." In East Prussia they say that the Hare sits in the last patch of standing corn, and must be chased out by the last reaper. The reapers hurry with their work, each being anxious not to have to chase out the Hare, for the man who does so, that is, who cuts the last corn, is much laughed at. At Aurich, as we have seen, an expression for cutting the last corn is "to cut off the Hare's tail." "He is killing the Hare" is commonly said of the man who cuts the last corn in Germany, Sweden, Holland, France, and Italy. In Norway the man who is thus said to kill the Hare must give hare's blood in the form of brandy to his fellows to drink. In Lesbos, when the reapers are at work in two neighbouring fields, each party tries to finish first in order to drive the Hare into their neighbour's field. The reapers who succeed in doing so believe that next year the crop will be better. A small sheaf of corn is made up and kept beside the holy picture till next harvest. 5. The Corn spirit as a cat. Again, the corn spirit sometimes takes the form of a cat. Near Kiel, children are warned not to go into the cornfields because "the cat sits there." In the Eisenach Oberland they are told, "The corn cat will come and fetch you." "The corn cat goes in the corn." In some parts of Silesia, at mowing the last corn, they say, "The cat is caught," and at threshing, the man who gives the last stroke is called the cat. In the neighbourhood of Lyons, the last sheaf and the harvest supper are both called the cat. About Vesoul, when they cut the last corn, they say, "We have the cat by the tail." At Briançon, in the Dauphiné, at the beginning of reaping, a cat is decked out with ribbons, flowers, and ears of corn. It is called the cat of the ball skin, le chat de peau de balle. If a reaper is wounded at his work, they make the cat lick the wound. At the close of the reaping the cat is again decked out with ribbons and ears of corn. Then they dance and make merry. When the dance is over, the girls solemnly strip the cat of its finery. At Grüneberg in Silesia, the reaper who cuts the last corn goes by the name of the tomcat. He is enveloped in rye stalks and green withes, and is furnished with a long plaited tail. Sometimes as a companion he has a man similarly dressed, who is called the female cat. Their duty is to run after people whom they see and to beat them with a long stick. Near Amiens the expression for finishing the harvest is "They are going to kill the cat," and when the last corn is cut they kill a cat in the farmyard. At threshing in some parts of France a live cat is placed under the last bundle of corn to be threshed, and is struck dead with the flails. Then on Sunday it is roasted and eaten as a holiday dish. In the Vosges mountains the close of haymaking or harvest is called catching the cat, killing the dog, or more rarely catching the hare. The cat, the dog, or the hare is said to be fat or lean according as the crop is good or bad. The man who cuts the last handful of hay or of wheat is said to catch the cat or the hare, or to kill the dog. 6. The corn spirit as a goat. Further, the corn spirit often appears in the form of a goat. In some parts of Prussia, when the corn bends before the wind, they say, "The goats are chasing each other. The wind is driving the goats through the corn. The goats are browsing there," and they expect a very good harvest. Again they say, "The oats goat is sitting in the oats field. The corn goat is sitting in the rye field." Children are warned not to go into the cornfields to pluck the blue cornflowers, or amongst the beans to pluck pods, because the rye goat, the corn goat, the oats goat, or the bean goat is sitting or lying there, and will carry them away or kill them. When a harvester is taken sick or lags behind his fellows at their work, they call out, "The harvest goat has pushed him. He has been pushed by the corn goat." In the neighbourhood of Braunsberg, East Prussia, at binding the oats every harvester makes haste, lest the corn goat push him. At Erfoten, in Norway, each reaper has his allotted patch to reap. When a reaper in the middle has not finished reaping his piece after his neighbours have finished theirs, they say of him, "He remains on the island." And if the laggard is a man, they imitate the cry with which they call a he goat; if a woman, the cry with which they call a she goat. Near Straubing, in Lower Bavaria, it is said of the man who cuts the last corn that "he has the corn goat," or the wheat goat, or the oats goat, according to the crop. Moreover, two horns are set up on the last heap of corn, and it is called the horned goat. At Kreutzburg, East Prussia, they call out to the woman who is binding the last sheaf, "The goat is sitting on the sheaf." At Gablingen, in Swabia, when the last field of oats upon a farm is being reaped, the reapers carve a goat out of wood. Ears of oats are inserted in its nostrils and mouth, and it is adorned with garlands of flowers. It is set up on the field and called the oats goat. When the reaping approaches an end, each reaper hastens to finish his piece first. He who is the last to finish gets the oats goat. Again, the last sheaf is itself called the goat. Thus in the valley of Wiesent, Bavaria, the last sheaf bound on the field is called the goat, and they have a proverb, "The field must bear a goat." At Spachbrücken, in Hesse, the last handful of corn which is cut is called the goat, and the man who cuts it is much ridiculed. At Dürenbüchig, and about Mosbach in Baden, the last sheaf is also called the goat. Sometimes the last sheaf is made up in the form of a goat, and they say, "The goat is sitting in it." Again, the person who cuts or binds the last sheaf is called the goat. Thus in parts of Mecklenburg they call out to the woman who binds the last sheaf, "You are the harvest goat." Near Uelzen in Hanover the harvest festival begins with the bringing of the harvest goat. That is, the woman who bound the last sheaf is wrapped in straw, crowned with a harvest wreath, and brought in a wheelbarrow to the village, where a round dance takes place. About Luneburg, also, the woman who binds the last corn is decked with a crown of corn ears, and is called the corn goat. At Munzesheim in Baden, the reaper who cuts the last handful of corn or oats is called the corn goat or the oats goat. In the Canton St. Gall, Switzerland, the person who cuts the last handful of corn on the field, or drives the last harvest waggon to the barn, is called the corn goat or the rye goat, or simply the goat. In the Canton Thurgau he is called the corn goat. Like a goat, he has a bell hung round his neck, is led in triumph and drenched with liquor. In parts of Styria also the man who cuts the last corn is called corn goat, oats goat, or the like. As a rule, the man who thus gets the name of corn goat has to bear it a whole year, till the next harvest. According to one view, the corn spirit, who has been caught in the form of a goat or otherwise, lives in the farmhouse or barn over winter. Thus each farm has its own embodiment of the corn spirit. But according to another view the corn spirit is the genius or deity